Anu, Enlil and Enki in the meeting with the four councils. On November 3, 2022, Elena Danaan released another mind-blowing video in her Contact series. I would advise anyone to listen to the grand tale that was minutely described by Elena in about half an hour. This article summarizes the key points. The meeting. On October 30, 2022, an extraordinary meeting took place in an undisclosed location. The members of this meeting were representatives of various councils: the High Council of the Galactic Federation of Worlds, the Council of Five, the Andromeda Council and the Intergalactic Confederation. The meeting took place, as apparently is commonplace amongst our stellar friends, using quantum holographic projection techniques. This means that most of the participants were not physically present during the meeting, but their holographic projection was. This technique allows for everybody to completely interact with the others as if they were physically present, like a fully interactive holographic Zoom meeting. People from the Earth Alliance, White Hats, were also present. Anu, the Anunnaki king. At the center of this meeting was the evaluation of the misdeeds of Enlil and his team during their interaction with humanity, starting some 374,000 years ago. Elena describes that the Tingri Herald of the High Council of the Galactic Federation had already shown holographically the misdeeds for 6 hours in a row before she joined the meeting herself. In the center was Anu with both his sons, Enki and Enlil. Elena described the Anunnaki king Anu. Broadcasting from his homeworld located somewhere in the Orion Zone, Anu was present, as a giant being of bright translucent light sat on a high throne. I couldn't tell if he was wearing clothes, because his body was so bright. He had a long elongated skull and bright blue eyes. He was magnificent and looked massive. Visually, he measured about 12 feet high, but I do not know if it was his real size or a magnified effect from his holographic projection, though, because Enki isn't that tall. When I take a look at this mythological person from ancient times, now holographically present in 2022, I cannot help but being impressed. The way he shines is quite amazing. In another recent article, I pondered on the difference in appearance between the Anunnaki as we have come to know them, with their characteristic beards, and the bald Anunnaki as they are portrayed consistently by Elena Danaan in her work. In regard to the size of Anu, that size seems to match the tallness of the sleeping giant that JP has described during his visit to the subterranean world of Florida. That giant, Ninjish Saito, was also about 12 feet, 3.6 meters. Enlil, the chained sun. Let's move on to Enlil, who is the main subject of this meeting. We have mentioned him a number of times in earlier articles. Elena describes him as well. On Anu's left hand, my right, was Enlil, in a yellow jumpsuit with black stripes on the side of its arms, attached to a seat by a collar and braces at his wrists and ankles. I could finally see what Enlil looked like, and he was strikingly different from Enki. You could clearly tell them apart. Enlil was taller and more robust, and his face had a larger and stronger bone structure, prominent cheekbones, slanted eyes, and a larger nose. I couldn't tell the color of his eyes. Maybe bronze or gold. This being radiated eons of power and military leadership. But for now, he looked as if he was tied as a prisoner and very resentful. Well, after the display of the misdeeds by Enlil, Enlil confessed to his father all the things had been shown before. The Cedars group and the genetic tampering. After this, the Altian tale took to the floor, and this is what he said. When they found Earth, the Anunnaki tempered with a genetic experiment belonging to the Intergalactic Confederation, without asking them, so there was a trespassing. The Terrans as a genetic experiment were under the Intergalactic Confederation's protection until they were able to evolve in consciousness up to a certain level, where we are today. Enki's DNA template and redemption. Elena continued and said, Enki bringing back the original DNA template is redeeming the misdeeds of his people in general, so now Enlil's faction that still remains on Earth has no reason to stay anymore. The wrongs have been righted. Regarding universal laws, no one can right the wrongs of others in a karmic perspective, so the Anunnaki respond for their people, and so on. That is the reason why Enki brought back the original Adamic DNA template himself, on behalf of his people, to erase a karmic debt at the scale of a whole civilization. I still wonder what the original DNA template consists of and how it